Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Okay, we have a very exciting session coming ahead that is on webinar on professional chart making. Chart making is a specialized trait that one should have, must have. The data that we have is it audible? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay. We have lots and lots of data that we have all around us, and sometimes it's difficult to comprehend this data. If we have the small data, it's quite easy to understand what data is saying. But if we have lots and lots of data, then it is quite difficult for us to understand what that data means. Chart is a feature that allows us to convert or to unveil the hidden information that is within the data that will be obvious when we represent that data through the chart. So chart is the representation of the numerical data. We have the data that conveys something, but there is lots and lots of information. There is lots and lots of knowledge that is hidden somewhere in the data. That is one of the limitations of the humans, that that we cannot comprehend, we cannot understand a lot of data. Our mind is developed, or our mind is structured in such a manner that we will unable to understand, comprehend. But if we have the picture in front of us, we can recognize the patterns, we can recognize the association, we can recognize the relationship that exists between the different variables of the data set. And with the help of the chart, that relationship, that comparison, that pattern can be obvious. So we have the data, and in that data, there might be some sort of a relationship of maybe that one variable is decreasing and other variable is increasing, and there are two variables which are directly proportional to each other. That is, if one is increasing, the other is increasing. That relationship cannot be comprehended with the data that we have. If the data set is small, then that is okay. There is no problem, there is no issue. But if the data is too much, maybe in Excel we have 1,000 rows of data, and then there will be a problem to comprehend, to understand that there is some such sort of a relationship that exists between two variables. Maybe we have on the one column we have the revenue, we have on the other side we have the profit, and we all know that there is a relationship that exists between these two. That higher the revenue, maybe higher the profit, and maybe there are certain other variables that intervene and that reverse that relationship. And these are some of the things that we need to understand, that we need to look into, and that we can look through the charts. This webinar is divided into different segments. In the first phase, we will be discussing what chart is, what are the different types of charts that Excel is facilitating. Then we will discuss that what are the uses of different charts. Means that what we want to convey, For example, the column chart is
continue now.
I hope that the sound issue is resolved. Create another chart, but that will be created as an object in a separate sheet. So F11 will be created a default chart as an object in the separate sheet, right? Whereas the Alt F1 key combination, let me delete it first. Alt F1 will be will create a default chart where the data lies on the existing worksheet. So Alt F1, so this is the embedded sheet. This is where your data is resided, right? Once you know that how data is manipulated, how to insert or delete the data, then Alt F1 is handy, right? But if you don't know that how to insert or delete these columns, then this will be quite tedious for you. So that is why we will start from the very basic, that how column chart is created or any other chart is created. We will be following a particular process. If you understand this process, then what matter whatever key that you are using or whatever chart that you have, you can modify it accordingly and you can format it accordingly. Okay. By the way, we are using Excel 2010 version. For those who are using 2013 or 2016, then the interface is a bit different. For 2007 and 2010, the interface is almost identical. But for those who are using 2013 and 2016, I will try to explain the difference. What are the difference and how can we have the same impact of 2010 in 2030 and in 2030, right? So, okay. Now, what you can do is, there is another way of creating a chart. That is, if you click insert and select any of the chart, for example, I'm selecting this and this, the chart is again created. If you say somehow forgot the shortcut key combination, this is the way to use to create a chart, right? Okay. Now let's select any cell outside the data set, right? Select a cell which is empty, obviously, and it should be outside the data source, this data set. Now click the insert button, then select any of the chart type. We will be developing, we will be creating a column chart. So click the column chart and then select whatever type that you want to select. So this, the selection. Okay, by doing this, we will be having an empty area, the white area. This is what we call the chart area. This is the chart area where our chart will be created. This is the plain area. We we haven't specified the data sources for this chart area, so that is why there is uh, uh, there is nothing on this area. Now, once this white area, the chart area, is created and it is selected, and you will see that there are certain new tabs coming up. These are called the contextual tabs for charts. So in 2010, we should have three contextual tabs for chart tools. One is the design, other is the layout, and the third one is the format. But in 2013 and 2016, you may have only two. One is the design and other is the format. The layout is missing, right? So you don't find the layout tab in 2013 and 2016. But for those who are using 2007 and 2010, they should be having these three tabs, right? Okay. Once we have the chart, and since we have selected the column chart will be created, but we need to specify the data source, the data, the categories, what we want to portray. Okay, in order to provide the data to this area, we need to have, we need to click the design tab first. And once you do that, you will see a button in the data group, the select data. For those who are using 2013 and 16, they will find this select data on the right side of this chart style, right? So right side of the chart style, they should find select data. But for 2010 and 7, we have this button right over here on the left side of it. So once it is selected, you should see this select data source, a dialog box, and there are two rectangles. One is, this is for the vertical axis and this is for the horizontal axis. In this area, we will be using the categories values, which are numerical in nature, and this will represent the bars itself. But here, in the horizontal axis, the data that we will be putting in will be used as a labels. If you look at here, horizontal category axis labels. So if I provide here these values to here, this will be used as axis labels. Now we have some series. Series means the consecutive data that we have. Okay, let me first tell you what I meant by the series. If you select this data set, there are certain values and there is a name that represent these values. So these are the revenues over the years, right? So these data represent the revenue. This selection is a series, whereas from the keyboard, or we can develop a link, or we can bound that cell with this particular area. So what you can do is you can select this cell, and by doing this, uh, whatever value, whatever text is in that cell will be shown in the column. Okay, if you click that, we have this value. Now you see we have the revenue and now the series values. Now click that and select this and click OK. And you will see we have portrayed the first series. This is the revenue and this is the series. This is the series name and these are the series values. Now, once again, go to design, select data and provide the second. Add series name will be profit, and then we will be having the series values for the profit, and this is OK and OK. Now we have plotted two series. One is for revenues and other is for the profit. And this is revenue, this is the profit. This is known as a legend. And the color, the square just beside revenue and profit that indicate that these bars represent revenue and the orange represent the profit, right? Okay. Now we have plotted two series for vertical axis. Now what we can do is we can plot the air on the x-axis, on the horizontal axis. That will show that these bars represent 2000, 2001, and so on and so forth. So similarly, you need to click the select data, then edit, and then access label range. So if we need to supply, we need to insert these and click OK and then click OK. So this is the basic chart. This is the way you use the data sources to plot the chart. Now somehow the chart is created, but this chart does not convey the complete picture. What it means that we need to use some sort of labels that will help the reader or the audience to understand what this chart means, right? So what you can do is we have then you need to use the layout. Okay, so layout tab in 2010-7, you will see certain groups. One is the label, one is the axis, right? And then you have the plot area and different other options. Now, in 2013 and in 16, whenever you click the chart, you will find three small boxes here, just either at the top right corner or top left corner of this image, right? For 2013 and 2016, if they click on the chart, they may see and they should have three small square and one square having a plus symbol. When they click plus, they should find these options, all these options in that menu. When you click that one, there is a menu pop-up, and you will see there is a chart title, there is an access title, there is a legend, data table, and so on and so forth, right? And for those who are using 2013 and 16, they should use this, right? But I'm using 2010 in this webinar, so I will be using this. Okay. Now, what I will do is I will label these chart. In order to create a chart, select the layout tab of chart tools and then go to label group and click chart title. Once you click that, you will find three options: none, standard overlay title, and above chart, right? So select whatever selection you want to make as per your requirement. For example, above the chart. If you click above the chart, what will happen is the chart will provide a space for the chart title by minimizing the chart, the plot area. Okay, what plot by plot area I mean? When you click somewhere in the middle, you should see this square where the bars are plotted. So this is the plot area. This is the plot area, right? So when we select chart title or above the chart, what it does, it will minimize a bit and will provide a space for the chart title. So what we can do is either we can type, for example, revenue versus revenue versus profit. Revenue versus profit from, say, from 2000 to 2004. So this is one way of putting the labels. There is another way of putting the labels, and we can get the value of the labels from the cell. How we can do that? Just say delete all of these. Go back here and just type the name of this, say, I will be using revenue and profit. Revenue and profit from 2000 to 2004. Okay. So now what I will be doing, I will be taking these value, this particular value from this cell, which is B3, and portraying this value in my chart. So click the chart, go to layout, click the chart titles, then above chart, right? Chart title, what's wrong? Why it's not? Okay, let me go first. Now, I have this chart title. Click anywhere in this rectangle. Click anywhere. Click anywhere, right? There's something that's changed. The lines of the square, they are divided, right? Once it is done, click the formula bar, enter equal to sign, and click B3. Once you do that, and click OK, and you should see the value that is in B3 is shown within the chart. And the good thing about this is that the cell value, whatever the cell value in B3, it will be replicated, shown in the change. This is, for example, say, let me do this by putting something else, the dummy data, dummy, for example. I click dummy and you will see I have the dummy. If I want to modify using this approach, it's very, very easy and straightforward. But if you enter the chart by typing it, then whenever you need to modify, you need to amend the chart, then you need to go to this chart title and do it manually, right? So I'm going back and remove this dummy and okay, fine. So this is how it goes. Now similarly, go to layout, chart title. This time either you can use this. So this is somewhere within the chart. Now the axis titles. Axis titles. Axis title means the titles for the y-axis, the vertical axis, and the horizontal axis. So what you can do is select primary horizontal axis. Horizontal means the x-axis. None. Right now it's none. The title blue axis. If you click this, this will provide you a space somewhere, right? So what you can do is you can click somewhere in this and click the formula tab, click equal to, and this here. Once you do that, and you see air, right? So you have the air. Then for vertical axis, what you can do is these are the numbers, and we should have the labels. These indicates, for example, in terms of millions. So what we can do is go to this primary vertical axis. Then we have the vertical title rotated. You have a few different options. So this is horizontal title. We have this, and you can just type it, rupees in millions. Rupees in millions. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have divided labels, revenue, we have the chart title, we have the axis labels for both horizontal and vertical. Then you can have to show legends at different location of the chart. For example, right now we have at the right side of the chart. If you want to move from here to from right to left to the bottom or at the top, you need to use the a legend, and you have different options. Show legend at right. This is right now. It is at right. Show legend at top. If you click that, and you should see right at the top. But this is not readable. Now you can at the top, at the left. Now you have at the left. So you have different options to play with, right? So maybe show legend at right is the right option for this chart right now, right? Then there is another option that you may have, and that is that sometimes you want to present the data with this chart in order to insert or induct the table from which this chart is created. You need to click the data labels. If you click the data labels, you have different options. Data tables. So data tables you have. Show data table with a legend keys. If you select this, then there is no sense of using this. Or if you use only the show data table, and you should see a table along with this chart. Now we have the revenue, profit, and these are the values 2000, 2001, and these are the revenue and the profit of the respective years, right? Now, and if you don't want to show these values, what you need to do, you need to go to the data table and click none, and we don't have any tables with this chart anymore. Now, sometimes you need to show the values within the chart, not in the form of table, but alongside with these bars. So what you can do is you can use this data labels. So this is the data, and you should have this bar represents some sort of data, and you want to have the data value, and for this you need to click the data labels, and there are different options. We have center. If you click center, you see we have all the values somewhere in the center, right? And if we have the data labels, say outside end, if you click outside end, and you should see these values at the top of the bars, right? So you have different options. You can use these options to uh, make your chart more readable, more understandable. Okay, fine. Uh, One thing is recommended, that if you using data labels alongside with your charts, then there is no need for this axis, right? So what you can do is you can primary, vertical, and click none. Once you do that, you don't have any labels along with this, right? So this is the axis, and this is the primary vertical axis, right? If you want to show these, show default axis, you have this, right? Uh, so it's up to you whether you want to display these values, data labels along with the axis values, but it is not recommended to use both at the same time. If you are using the data labels, don't use this, because this will show this will be sort of a redundant values. It will take a space, and it does not look neat, right? Okay, now remove the data labels. Okay. Now, sometimes we want to use the lines, either the vertical lines or the horizontal lines, which, as we have seen in the graph, there should be a grid, right? So what we can do is to show the lines, the horizontal or the vertical lines. You have in the axis group of the layout tab grid lines. If you click the grid lines, you should have the horizontal grid line and the vertical grid lines. So primary horizontal grid lines, there are two types of grid lines. One is the major grid lines, and other is the minor grid lines. So we want both major and minor grid lines both. If you major and minor, and we have this. Okay, sometime in majority of the cases, the grid line is not recommended, because sometimes you want to present your data in a much cleaner way. So uh, it looks not neat and nice is sort of a grid, right? So what you can do is you can eliminate, and if you want to eliminate, you want to delete primary vertical lines, none. Okay, these lines are gone. Okay. There is one more thing regarding the grid lines. The major grid lines and the minor grid lines. I'm talking about the horizontal grid line. And these grid lines are used to set the scale of the axis. The scale of the axis, right? Right now, Excel has auto-scaled this vertical axis. 0 to 500, then 1000. So there's an interval of 500 units, whatever units, rupees in millions. So 500 million, 0 and 500. Similarly, this interval is of 500 and so on and so forth. The major grid lines represent the major unit, the upper limit of the scale, right? And whereas the minor unit represent that how many intervals are there within one grid. If you say 0 to 500, there should be 5 different lines within that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should represent 100 units, right? This is 100 unit, this is 100 unit. So this is the major is 500 and minor is 100. You can manually scale this axis. How you can do this? You should click this axis. Once you click, there is a bar coming up. Selected this scale. Then right click it. Once you right click, you should see format chart area. Click format chart area, and you should see something like this. This should not be this thing. Let me do it once again. Okay, format axis. You should have this. Okay, fine. Now format axis dialog box coming up by right clicking this selection. Now look at this. We have minimum, maximum, major unit, minor. Right now it is auto. Auto means Excel has automatically detect the upper limit and the lower limit created interval and plot the graph accordingly. So we can manually change this scale. So now from auto you can click this. You have 0, that is okay. Then you have maximum. Right now is 2500. Let's see. We have somewhere 1, 2, 3. We have 2200 is the maximum value. So you can use 200, or maybe you should use say 200 is the maximum value. Although we have 2200 is the maximum value, but we are using 2000 right now. The major unit, maybe we want to present say 300. Okay, let it be say 300. Then okay, it automatically change selected the minor unit, and if you click OK, and you will see your bars will be enhanced. So scaling with the help of rescaling or manually scaling, you can change the height of the bars that the number should represent, and this is the way to do it, right? So let me go to auto once again. Right click, first selection, right click, format access, and then go to back to auto, 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 and auto. So we are back. Now, these grid lines are not recommended, so grid lines, all grid lines should be gone. Grid lines, horizontal grid lines, none. Okay, fine. Now, what we can do is, there is something that you can do with this chart. We have different components of the chart, this particular chart area. We have the chart area, we have the plot area, we have the axis area, we have the chart title, we have the axis titles, we have then we have something which is the data points area, right? We can we can format all of these areas, right? Let's see how we can do that to present this chart in a different way. For example, just click anywhere in the plot area, right click it, and you should see the format chart area, right? And if I click within the plot area, right click, I should see format plot area. If I click here, right click, I should see format axis, right? So by selecting and right clicking a respective area, we will have, and by right clicking, we will have the opportunity to format that particular area, right? So what right now we will be selecting the chart area. Once you do that, then you have the format chart area, right? And we have format chart area dialog box coming up. We have different options available, right? We have the no fill right now. Then we can use select button, select solid fill. Once you see, you have the, let me just minimize a bit. Okay, fine. So we have this. Similarly, you can we can go select the gradient fill. So this is the gradient fill. You can change the color. Uh, say this color different. Maybe this is more appropriate. And then you can click here. Now this is the plot area, gradient, and here is the color. Here is the color. This is the color we have selected. This, okay. Now you see, we have the solid color and the plot area and the chart area is completely reformatted, right? With the colors. Either you can use the solid color or you can use the gradient color. So let's use the gradient color. Gradient, and here gradient. Okay, fine. Now the look and feel of this is changed, right? By clicking this thing, we have this. Now we have different few options, right? If you click of either the chart area or the plot area. Now, similarly, you can represent, you can insert a picture at the back of the plot area. To click the plot area, right click, format plot area, and somewhere we have here the picture or texture fill. If you click picture or texture fill, you should see there is new options coming in, and that is that you want to select the picture from the file, from the clipboard or the clip art, or you want to select a texture. Right now we want to insert a picture. Click File. You should see this dialog box coming in. Select a particular folder or the image. We have one image with it. Where is that? Webner on charts. Then I have the image folder. You don't have this image folder, right? So you need to select the file, the image in your computer. Select any of the image which is there in your computer, right? So let me select this one. Click OK, and I have this image at the back as a background, right? Now, in order to remove format plot area, then go to gradient, and there is no image at the back. So this is how you can remove or you can insert. One more thing that we can do with this is we can represent these bars with the image. Just assume that we have these two bars represent the revenue generated by the cars, right? Right click, select any of these, right click, format data series, and then you need to fill option. Then we have the picture, then close OK, and you see that there is an image of the image that I've selected. One more thing that you can do with this particular image is that you want to make this image more meaningful by converting it into a units. For example, maybe one image represent 100 unit or 500 unit. That we can do with by clicking one of the bar, right click, then format data series, and fill. We have already made a selection. We have three different options here: stretch, stack. If I click stack, you should see these sort of images. This is the stack, but this is not meaningful to me. What I will do is stack and scale with, for example, 100. 100. So 100 means one picture. Click OK, and I have say 5 pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or say let me just change it to, instead of 100, let me use 500. So 500. So this is 500. So the value is somewhere. Let me put the data labels. 1600. So 1, 2, 3, 1500, and a bit of image for the next 100. So this is more meaningful, more understandable thing. Okay, fine. So there is one more thing that you can do with this data. First of all, need to say go back, turn back to normal. Okay, the color is, this is the color, I guess. Okay, fine. Close, okay. Okay, once the data is plotted, formatted, you can always change this chart to whatever chart type. You just need only to click, right click, you have the change chart type, click that, and you should see there are different types of charts. Select any of those. For example, we have this chart, click OK, and you see your chart has been changed, right? So this is the basics of creating a chart, right? This is how you should be using it. Once you understand the concept of plotting, that how data is being plotted, how the axes are being set, how the proper labeling can be done, and how it can be formatted. So these are some of the basic things that you should know to create a chart. Okay, once it is done, let me show you one of the comparison between a column chart and a pie chart. This chart represents two categories over this category. So there is a comparison of yearly comparison of revenue and profit. So we have two categories already plotted. Let me change it first, change, and then we have this, we have OK, we have back to normal. Now see, we have this two bars, one for revenue, one for profit. This is the column chart, and if I change this chart to uh, pie chart. This is the pie chart, and select this thing and click OK. You should see only one category. The other will be vanished. You see, we have only one thing. 2200, this thing, and we need to change the colors as well, since we have already formatted to one color. So if you look at this, the chart had been changed to pie chart, and there is only one thing, that is air and revenue. So this is the limitation of the pie chart. The pie chart only represent two categories only. Whatever, if you have created a column chart of multiple categories and you want to change it to pie chart, uh, it will represent only two categories. One is the air and other is the revenue. So change chart type, go back, select and click OK, and we should be back to normal. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Let me go to the pie chart. Okay, one more thing. Uh, there is one thing that you can do more with these charts, right? Click any of this bars, right click, format data series, and you should see this thing, series overlap and gap. If you want to provide a gap to these two bars, so look at this, what will happen, right? So either you want to increase a space or decrease a space, use this option, series options, right? And you have series overlap. So this is the series. to 2004, although it reflects increase trend, but if we want to visibly present this, like any of the bar that represent the profit, right click, and then we have the add trend line. Click add trend line, and we will have the format trend line options. Select any of the one, for example, exponential, linear, logarithmic, any other. Select any of these, click OK, and you have the bar coming in. If you select this bar, I've selected this bar, right? And then click the right button. Again, let me do that first. Selection, right click, now the format trend line. Selection, any of the chart area, then right click, allow you to format that area. So I have selected this format trend line, and you see that I have the line color, I can change the color, gradient, automatic, solid line, line style, I can change the style of the lines, the width of the line, right, the continuous line, the dotted line, right, I can show the effects, various effect, glow and soft. There are many things that you can do with these formatting options, right? Okay, so this is it. Now we will be having 10 minutes break. Right?
Can we take the question answers first?
Okay, fine. We can have the question answer session.
Hashim Khan is asking, are there any shortcut keys for other types of charts like you've told about Alt F1?
Now we have only two shortcut keys, and these are only meant for developing or creating a default chart. Default chart is one which is already configured with the Excel environment. If you are making column chart or default chart, that will be with the use of Alt F1 and F11, it will only create a column chart. And if the default is pie chart, it will create a pie chart. So we don't have any other shortcut keys for the charts.
Asnan Malik is asking, how can we change figures in graph? For example, the
figures.
I mean, he's saying the scale we have set for the axis. The gap between the scales, the intervals. How can we manually set those intervals? Or change them?
Okay, that is the interesting question. Format axis. What you want to do is you want to axis value. What's the name of this?
His name is Hasnan Malik.
Hasnan Malik, if your question is that you want to insert the minor axis labels, so the labels for the grid lines.
No, his question is, how can we alter the scale we have set for the axis, the x-axis or the y-axis?
He wants me to do it again.
Yeah.
That's okay, fine. If you want to
he wants you to
rescale
change the interval between 0 and 500 to maybe 0 and...
Okay, fine. Actually, they want me to redo it again.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You need to select that area first. Once it is selected, then you need to right click. Once you right click, you should see it's stuck. Okay. Once it is selected, right click, you should see this button, format axis. Once this is selected, you should see this format axis. Now the axis options, right? maybe he is using 2013 and 16. The options over there is different. The interface is different. For you, if you are using 2013, then you need to click the plus button, which should be there at the top right bottom, top right of this image. You click that, select the axis option, and there you should find this particular option. Okay. Once it is done, if it is selected, we have the minimum, the maximum, the major unit, and the minor unit. Now, the major unit is 0. The minimum value is 0. We can change it to maybe 3,000, and by doing this, we have changed auto to fixed. Click this, and then you have 3,000. So 3,000 is here. We want to change it not from 5,000 to 1,000. So change it to 1,000. Right? And that's it. So we need to have the maximum value and the major unit. It will be calculated, the minor unit will be calculated automatically. Once it is done, and you should see, so 0 to 1,000, it is 2,000, and it is 3,000. I think that answers this question. Any other questions, sir?
Yes. Mohammed Ismail is asking how. One second. Which one not even get through? We have answered that already. Mohammed Salman Seemab is asking how to eliminate a column out of two columns or how to merge two columns in a chart.
Columns or bars?
Maybe he's talking about.
If he is talking about the bars, the simple thing is select any of the bar, then right click, then you have the format data series, then you have the series options. You have these two options, series overlap and gap. If you want to increase the gap or decrease the gap, right, use the series overlap. This is how you overlap. You can increase, you can decrease. If his question is this,
No,
that is,
he wants you to delete one of the bars.
one of the bar, if you delete one of the bar, the whole selection will be deleted.
All right.
Right? Right click, delete. Right, you see? And then you need to re-induct by design, select data, add, then you have the profit, this, and you have this. Click.
No, I think he is asking if we can remove one of the blue bars. Can we eliminate one blue bar?
We cannot eliminate one blue bar. If you eliminate one blue bar, what you can do is all bars will be eliminated, number one.
All right.
But what you can do is if you double click one of the bar,
Yeah.
right? If you only the one bar will be selected, right click, and then again you have delete series.
Okay.
If you click, all will be gone. Right? No undo button? Okay. So you can use this you can do is you can use say
Maybe a
different color.
Maybe a different color. Yeah.
You can format these bars differently.
Yeah.
That you can do. But if you delete one of the bars, all the values of the series will be deleted. All series will be deleted.
Perfect. Mohammed Suleiman is asking how to add a pie chart within a column or a bar chart.
How to add a
Pie chart.
pie chart within a column chart?
Yeah, or bar chart.
Okay.
This can be done, right?
Yes, that can technically can be done.
Yeah.
Technically it can be done. But using a column chart alongside with the pie chart, uh, it looks very odd, isn't it? You can you can create a column chart with a line chart. Okay, that's more understandable. But using a column chart with a pie chart, that looks very strange. It can be done. You need to select the secondary axis, right? Once you select the secondary axis, and then you can change that chart for secondary axis to pie chart. Then you will have uh, pie chart and the column chart, and that chart is known as the combo chart. So it's a combination chart. We will do that when we discuss the combo chart, right? Right in this particular webinar.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it. We can make a separate bar chart and then copy it from there and paste it on a bar chart and combine both charts.
But I don't find any utility of having that chart alongside with the within the same chart. I don't find any utility. Maybe he has.
Maybe he does.
Any other questions, sir?
Yes. Muzammil Hussain is asking, trend line can be added to a 3D chart or not?
Okay, the best thing is to try. Convert that chart to a 3D chart. Okay, let's change chart type. Select the 3D column chart. Okay. Okay, so this is the 3D column chart. Just select this thing. Now try this thing. Now this is disabled. So the answer is no. Right, sir? Any other question?
Yes. Father Tap saying he can't find the select data in the insert tab, neither design and layout. I'm using Excel 2013.
Okay, that's great. Right now, I'm also not find any of the tabs he actually referring to. These are the chart tool tabs, these are contextual tabs. Once you select the chart, if you select the chart, then these charts will be there. So after the selection of the chart, you should find these. Since you are using column 13, you will find only two chart tools tabs. One is design and average format. There is no layout tabs in 2013. This tab is actually changed to these three dots which I am referring to. When you click that, you should see three different buttons right at upper corner of this image. Right? So once you click that, you should find, and if you unselect the chart, the contextual tab will be gone. Sir, next question, sir.
Mohammed Mubashir is asking that he is saying actually he's using Office 2013 while pressing Alt F 11 key
or F1
or
or F11.
F11.
It
It
takes
takes
into
into
developer
developer
mode
mode
visual
visual
base
base
type.
type.
Yes. Instead, use either Alt F1, not Alt F11. If you want to use F11, only press F11.
Okay.
Alt F11 will take you to the developer
Developer
mode.
mode of Visual Basic. All right.
Pressing again on F1, you can go by default.
Muhammad Adil is asking how can we make a three-axis chart?
Three axis chart.
Is this possible?
Three axis chart, if we have the bubble chart, yes, we can do that.
Okay.
Three-dimensional chart is asking.
Maybe we can explain it later after the break, maybe. Let's take a short 15 minutes break, maybe.
Very quickly, if you have a few more very short questions, if there are.
Let me find.
And if there are questions relating to this thing, we will come back later.
Yeah, maybe we can get back with them later after the break, maybe.
Okay, let's have a break of about 15 minutes. Right? So, see you after the break. Okay, ji, welcome back. Let's resume. Uh, if you still have any question, please.
Yes, Mohammed Yunus is asking, I am unable to insert primary vertical axis and horizontal way in 2013, Office 2013. Just like in the example, that is rupees in millions.
Okay, Munir, if you click on this chart and click the plus button, which you will find in 2013, you will find some other options, right? And you should find the titles, uh, title button, title options. And if you click that, you should find the horizontal and vertical axis labels. And once you click that, and maybe you will find more options available over there. And from there, you should see the rotated or vertical or horizontal. All the options available should be there. It should be over there. So just click the image, click the plus button, then the access title, click the access, and you should find the horizontal, vertical labels over there. Just try it, and you should see that. Okay, fine. Let's go back. Now, what we have done so far, we have discuss what chart is and how we can and what are the various type of charts and how the chart is created and how the chart is formatted, right? Now let's do some complex thing, not the complex thing, but the real-time scenarios from where these chart is being created. So we will be developing the data for the charts now. This is the arbitrary data, the dummy data that we have just created for this sort of charts. But what we will do now, again we have the dummy data, but it's sort of that depicts the real-time data. So we have a data, we need to prepare the data for creating charts, right? So let's see how we can do that. Just close this. We don't want to, okay, we want to save it. Then click sales data. Sales data is logged for editing. Uh, we need to read only. Okay, then we need to save as, copy of the sales data, copy of the sales data. Okay, just assume that we have this data set with us. Okay. Kindly delete this sheet 1. We will come to this sheet, we will create this sheet a bit later. So delete this sheet 1. Delete this. Okay, just look at this data. Some of you have, those who have attended by webinar regularly, they should have seen this data set. This is the transactional data, right? We have the dimensions, right? These are the dimensions: location, salesperson, and product. And then we have some numerical data. So numerical data can be measured. So for example, we want to portray the sale amount. This is the sale value. We want to portray the sale amount, total sale made at each location, maybe Gujarat, Peshawar, Sialkot. Now, but you see, we have different instances of Gujarat, different instances of Peshawar. We have multiple data items. Then we have another option to portray this data with salesperson, for example, salesperson. So we can consolidate Kamran, total sale made by Mr. Kamran. Similarly, we can have the total sale of printer in terms of quantity, maybe in terms of maybe discount given on printer, or maybe we have the total sale made by total sale of a printer. So we need to ask questions to ourselves, what sort of information that we want to portray. If we want to portray only the location, then we need to consolidate this data set in terms of location. And if we want to, say, portray this data in terms of salesperson, then obviously we need to consolidate, we need to summarize this data in terms of salesperson, and so on and so forth. Maybe there are chances that we want to portray two dimensions with one measure. Maybe we want to portray at a particular location how many printers are sold, how many projectors are sold, and so on and so forth. So it means we need to construct a table, a cross-tabular table. In one side of the table, there is the location, and on the other side, we should have the product, and then whatever measure that we want to put in that table. So we need to prepare the data for the presentation or for the development of the chart. Now, there are different ways to consolidate or to summarize this data. We can use the pivot table, and we will be using the pivot table a bit later. We can use the sum function. We can use the SUMIF function. The SUMIF function or the SUMIFs function we have already discussed in depth, in detail in our previous webinars, and someone who doesn't understand what SUMIFs function is, so we request all of you, those of you who does not understand or comprehend SUMIF functions, so kindly refer to these webinars where we have discussed in detail what SUMIF function is and how these are implemented. So I will be using the SUMIFs function and some of the techniques, some of the features of Excel in order to consolidate or to summarize this data. Okay, in order to summarize this data, or we have now the task at our hand is that we need to prepare the data. We need to extract the desired information to prepare the data for developing a chart. So what we can do is, first of all, we need to, for example, we want to display the sale made at each location, at each city. Since we have the multiple instances of each of the cities in the location, the first task is to eliminate all the repeated instances. So we need to find the unique values from this column. In order to get the unique values of this column, again we have number of options. One of the option is, the method is getting the value through the data table. But first is you need to select the entire column, then copy it and paste it somewhere else. So paste it here. So you have pasted and this is the value. So this is, we have copied the entire column. Now select this column, then go to data tab, and in the data tools we have the remove duplicates. Now click remove duplicates since it is column K, and then click OK. It should remove all the duplicates. In this particular column, the location column, we have Gujarat, Peshawar, Sialkot. These are the instances, and these are the unique instances of uh, what you call other cities. Now, then we have the amount. Then we have the amount, AMUNT amount. We will be using the sum if function, a sum ifs function, not the if sum ifs function, in order to calculate all the sale made at Gujarat. So in order to do this, what we need to do is equal to sum ifs function, then sum range is actually amount. So this is the amount. In order to select this range, control shift down arrow. This will make a selection of the entire data set, right? This is amount, this is the name range that I have already created, AMT, comma. Then you have the criteria range. Criteria range is this location. Again, select this one, control shift down in order to create, select the entire range. Again, this is the location. Then the criteria is Gujarat. Once is click and then just press enter and you should find this value. Okay, so some of you may see 1.3e and doesn't know what it means. This is the exponent notation of the number. There is only that in order to change it, just to extend this column width, and you should see the number like this. So the data has been consolidated. And now what you need to do is, since we have only two categories, select all of these and click Alt F1. So you have this data set with you. You see, we have prepared the data for this, and again we have the labels which are not neat. It's better to use the bar chart. If you click select the bar chart, now the bar chart is represented like this. You can change the format, you can represent this data in a different way. I've already shown that how this chart is formatted, so I'm not discussing it again, that how this chart has been formatted. You can use these charts, right? You can format your chart accordingly. Now the question is, whenever you need to prepare this data, you want to create a chart, first you need to establish the objective, that what you want to present from. So this data is extracted using the sum function. Now I'm discussing one example of cross tabular format. Now I will be creating a table. Now this will be tricky and we don't have time to discuss that. Okay, fine. Now what you can do is you can, okay, let it be like this. Now what we want to do this, we want to present data of say a particular product, the sale made at a particular product at a particular location. I'm repeating, we want to create a chart that depict the sale of a particular product at each location. For example, we want to create a chart that will represent the sale made by sale of say printer at Gujarat, Peshawar, and rest of the cities. And we want to have another measure, and that is the quantity. We want to have the quantity, and we want to have the amount. So we want to present two measures of location with respect to a product. So again, we need to present our data. We need to prepare our data in such a manner. So another dimension, measure is quantity. So we need to develop another column for quantity. So this is quantity. Again, we need to use the SUMIFS functions. This is the SUMIFS function. In this case, we have the quantity. Sum range is the quantity. This is the data item. We want to get few values and the sum of these values. Control shift down. We will get complete range of the quantity. Then we have comma, and we have the criteria range is okay, not the quantity. We need to have the product first. We need to have a product first. Okay, first let's see. Let it be discount. Discount given and sale amount. So this is discount. Let it be discount. Discount is equal to sum ifs. This is the range. We have already created the name ranges for these, and we might have the discount with us. Let it be discount. Okay, yes, this is the discount. Then we have the comma, and we have the criteria range. Criteria range in that case is again Gujarat, the location. In that case, location, and the criteria is Gujarat. Okay, once you do that, so we have again tabulating. These are the two values. These are the two columns that represent the sale made, the total sale made at each location. Then we have the discount given at each location, right? Now, we want to present the data in such a manner that we want to extract few of the information that is only the printer, the total sale of the printer at Gujarat, and the discount given at on printer at Gujarat, right? So first of all, we need to control shift down arrow. We need to move a bit down, and we need to select, maybe select or type. Select or type the product. We need to do this. Select or type the product. We need to select this. Then we have, say, maybe printer. So now we need to extract information. That is the sale of printer, total sale of printer, and total discount on printer given at each location. So that is the information that we want to extract from this table. And for this, what you need to do is you need to use control sum if functions one again, because the sum if function in this particular case only calculating the total sale made at each location of all the products. But right now we are getting we want to get the information of total sale of printer at Gujarat, and similarly total discount given on printer at Gujarat. So that is the information that we want to extract from this particular data set. And in order to do so, we need to uh, amend the sum if function or rewrite sum if function. Sum if function is very, very simple, very, very easy. The sum if function, first parameter is the sum range or the range from where the data is to be totaled. And that is the amount AMT. I've already created the name range AMT. Then we have the criteria range. Criteria range in this case is location. Location is a column for location. Then I have the criteria location is equal to Gujarat. And then the second criteria is I'm asking about the product. Then I have the second one is the product, and the second product, comma, and I have in this case is printer. And when I copy this formula, M1 becomes M2. So this needs to be fixed, which is we need to put the dollar sign, $M, $1. This will fix the location of within the function. Press enter, and this is the value that it is the total sale of printer in the city of Gujarat. And similarly, if we copy this formula down, we have all the information of the printer, total sale made of printer at respective location. And similarly, I'm repeating this sum ifs. I have again in that case a discount. This is the discount, and we have the comma. We have the location, comma, and the criteria range is this. Then we have the product. Product is this, and comma. We have this, and again we need to fix this and press enter. And this is the discount here. So we have all the C. And now we see that in Sialkot, Lahore, Gujranwala, and Islamabad, no discount is given. Right? So very, very simple stuff. Now we have these two selected, Alt F1. We have this thing. This is generated amount in discount, and what we need to do is the chart as well. So in order to do this, we need to go to the layout. Then we need to select the chart title, center level of the chart, and click this one. Go to the formula bar, press equal to sign, and select this one and click OK. Now this is printer, and when I change this, for example, I have laptop monitor RAM. If I change RAM, RAM, the chart value, the chart title has changed. So is the this data set is changed, and so is the chart. So this is sort of interactivity that we have just created within the chart. Whenever we select or type the product, because of the function sum is function, this data set is changed because of the sum is function, and since this uh, chart is developed on the basis of this data set, whenever this data changes, this chart will change accordingly. There is one more thing we can do with this data set if we want to convert, if we want to say don't want to type each and every time, we want to just develop the drop down list at this particular cell, that we can do with similar thing. Select this one, click copy, uh, go to somewhere, maybe double A, paste it, and select this one, data, then remove duplicates, click OK. So these are the values we want to have right in this column as a drop-down list. In order to create a drop-down list, you need to click the data tab in this particular cell, select this cell. Once you did that, click the data tab, go to data tools, then the data validation. You should see this data validation dialog box. Then you have in the setting tab, go to allow and select list. Once list is selected, it will ask for the source of this that list, and we have already that list in right over here. Select all of these, click, and it is created. Now we have the ring. Click, select any of this. This is scanner. It is change. This is LCD. This is change, and this is how it goes. Okay. Uh, okay. There is one problem with this chart. And the chart is, one of the recommendation is, if you are using two categories, if you are plotting two categories within the chart, the values of these charts should be around similar, right, of similar nature. The variation should be not very huge. If you look at in this case, you have 14,250, and it is almost say less than 10%, and it is non-visible. So in order to make these changing visible, you convert this chart into a combo chart. So in order to convert this chart into a combo chart, select the data series that represent the discount. So this selection, then right click, then format data series. Once you do that, you should see the series option and plot series on secondary axis. This is the primary axis. If you select this one, click OK, and you have this value all along with this. Now, make a selection of this, right click, and change chart type. Change chart type and select the line. Click OK, and you should see that your chart is converted into a combo chart, and the bar represent the amount, whereas the line represent uh, the discount. So if you look at the legend, we have the amount, we have the discount. Since there is a okay, there is a spelling mistake, we need to change it. Discount, 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 discount. So that's okay. So we have a toner in these respective cities. Discount is given that much, amount is given that much, and this is how you can develop a chart, a combo chart. Okay, develop a combo chart. Okay, fine. In this particular section, we want to create a chart, and the creation of that chart is actually extracting the data from a huge data set. So if you want to create a chart from a huge data set, you need to ask few questions, and as per this question, and if you answer those questions, the result will be a subset of the data set, which actually serve as the basis of the creation of this chart. You need to extract the data, the required data, right? Utilizing features and functions. Once it is done, the data is extracted, the rest of the task become easy. Now, let's do another thing using the pivot table in order to perform the same thing. Now you have this data set all with you, and I hope you know what is a pivot table. Pivot table is a tool that is used to summarize your data, right? It is used to uh, for the analysis of the data, for the presentation of the data. There are so many things that we can do with the data, and I have conducted maybe 2 or 3 sessions, webinars on the pivot tables. So kindly, if you have any questions on the development of the pivot tables, so kindly refer back to these webinars. And these are available on YouTube channel, right?
On our YouTube channel, on our Vimeo channel, and as well as on our GoToWebinar channel.
Okay, fine. Right. So let's very quickly develop similar sort of table, extract the data of this location and the amount, and then replicate this with the pivot table. Select any of the cell, go to Insert tab, then we have the pivot table, then pivot tables, and we want to create in the new worksheet. Okay, click OK. Now we have created a new worksheet. These are the fields. These are the name of the columns, and what are columns that we want to portray. We want to portray the location. Just click the location, either click this or drag it. You should find all these values take that data into account using the summing function. So this is more dynamic, more robust, more flexible. But again, this is very, very easy. Once it is done, the rest of the task is again very easy. Once it is done, go to click option, then we have the tools, click pivot chart, and whatever chart that you want to make. We have this chart, you can eliminate this, you can format it the way we formatted the normal charts. It's quite easy. You have the design, layout, format, and analyze. These are the contextual tabs of the pivot tables. Again, we want to say, just cut it. We want to present the discount as well. So this, if you click the discount comes up. And if you want to again click develop a pivot chart, click the pivot chart, select this, and we have that chart of this very neat here. Again, we want to change it to change format data series, secondary, close, then change chart type, then we have the line, click OK. We have a similar sort of chart coming in, right? And then what you need to do, you want to say design, analyze. Okay, you don't want to have hide all. So once it is done, it is all gone. We have the similar sort of, and we have again the layout. So from here you can format this chart. One thing more, if you want to create a filtered pivot table, as we did right over here, this is called the filtered chart. This is how we actually filtered this information with respect to the product. If you want to have this impact right in this pivot table, what you need to do is you need to make use of the like this option, and there has to be one. Okay, we have a slicer over here. So slicer is actually used to filter your pivot table. Select filter, insert filter. You need to make a selection. We have location, click OK, and we have the filter slicer. Let me just okay, just put it here. Put it here. Okay, fine. That's okay. So I have this data set. If I select Faisalabad, okay, sorry, this is wrong. Click insert option, insert slicer. Insert slicer, we have the product. So product, click product, and we have this product. Resize it. We may have different. Okay, resize it. Oh, fine, that's enough. This is laptop, this data is LCD, this is this, this is that, so and so forth. Right? This is how it goes. This is also, you can create multiple charts from this data set to make it, make your small dashboard. For example, if you want to create another chart from, say, let me change it first. Let it be, now how easy it is. If you change it, then you have the product. And the product is, in this case, is location. We want to have everything right over here. If you just cut it, okay. Now this information is that we have the products, we have the sale amount, and we have the discount. Now, we want to have three different charts for three different tables. Let it be, okay, three different charts for three different tables. I am developing a mini dashboard through a pivot table. In order to do this, we should have three different pivot tables. It's the same. We have the laptops, we have the amount, we have another table for product and the discount. We have another column, another table for product and the quantity. So in order to do this, first we need to uh, reshape this. We have one table and one chart, right? Then we have another table. In order to create another table, either you can go back, right? Either you can go back, click the insert button, then we have the pivot table, we have the pivot table. Now, in that case, we have the existing workbook. Click the existing workbook, then you need to set the location, click, and go here and click here, and we have OK and OK. Now we have another pivot table. We have the product over here. Then we have the discount. Now we have another table of similar sort. But in that case, is the sum of amount, this is sum of discount. Another way of doing the same thing is select this, control C, and then copy this. Then copy this. Then control V. Control V. We have copied, so we have three different now, but in that case, it is a copy of this. We need to change this dimension, change this measure. We need to uncheck this. We need to click this. We have now 1, 2, 3 different tables. We have 1, 2, 3 different tables, right? We can change it to amount. We can, okay, we can say the total sale. We have total discount. Total. Total discount. Then we have the total quantity. This is total quantity. We have again, we have the product, 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 and we have the product. So we have the total quantity, total discount, everything is right over here. We need to create, select this, then we have options, pivot chart, select this one, click OK. We go select any of the pivot table, go to option, then select slicer, insert slicer. Again is, for example, it is the location and the source salesperson. Now this time we have two different slicers. Click OK. We have one slicer is for salesperson and other slicer is for location. Okay. Now, there is one thing that is left, and that is we need to connect. If you, Ali Bukhari, for example, it is changed only this. If you select Faisalabad, this is the sale made by Mr. Ali Bukhari in the city of Faisalabad, and it is reflected in this chart only. But we want to have the same reflection on in this chart and in this chart as well. So in order to do this, what we need to do is we need to select this one, any of the slicer, then we have the pivot table connection, and we need to have all the tables, click, and click OK, and all things are set. Ali Bukhari, Faisalabad, everything is changed, I guess. Now, yes, everything is changed. Everything is changing, right? So this is interactivity. This is many dashboard, and there are many things that we can do. This is the wonderful thing that you should have in order to present your data in the meeting in the form of mini dashboard. Right? We are left with almost 15 minutes. So in that 15 minutes, if you have any question, feel free to ask these questions.
Please make a pie chart. Mohammed Mubashir is asking, can you please make a pie chart from pivot table showing contributions of each product in total sale if possible?
Okay, for example, this is a total sale, right? I just want to convert this column chart into a pie chart. Again, the thing is very simple. You need to select this, right click, change chart type to pie, click OK. Your data set is changed. You can select add labels to it, right? The labels are there. So this is how you can use different values, right? Any other question?
No.
No question?
No.
Okay, good. I think these are, since we have already covered few of the things in our previous webinars, and I guess that some of you have already knew this thing. Okay, fine, let me capture what we did today. Okay, we have just discussed what actually are the charts. Charts are the diagrammatical representation of the data, of the numerical data. Sometimes it is very difficult to comprehend the data by human mind. If the data is small, then there is no problem, but if the data is huge, it is very difficult to comprehend the nature of the data or the relationship or yes, something or some comparison that you want to make, some portion that you want to elaborate. You cannot do that, but with the help of charts, it can be easily depicted, it can be easily portrayed. So we have different types of the nature. We have either you want to compare the data, you want to show the proportion, or you want to show the relationship that may exist among the data set of different categories. So this is how you use, that is why you use charts. Okay, there are different types of charts. We have discussed the column chart, we have discussed the pie chart, we have the bar chart, and we have also discussed the line chart. In all these four charts, we have discussed that what chart is used for what purposes. For example, the chart for the column chart and the bar chart is ideal for making comparisons, showing comparisons, whereas the pie chart is good for showing the proportion of a particular entity, of a particular category. Then we have the line chart. Line chart is used to show the trends over the data set. Then we have discussed how to create from the scratch, from the very beginning, that how chart is created. From the very, and in that process, we have identified few of the components of the charts, the terms and terminology that we have used. Then we have formatted that chart. Very, very briefly, I have shown some of the techniques of formatting the charts. Then we have developed the combo chart, and then we have prepared the data for the chart by extracting the desired data from the huge data set, and that we have done through summarizing the data by SumIs function. We have some other functions available with us to do the same. Then we develop a sort of an interactivity that how the data is changed, how the data can be changed as if the requirement, if the data is changed, that we did. Then we have used a pivot table to create a mini dashboard using the slices and things. And I think there are a few things that we will be covered maybe in the next webinar or maybe some other day. Uh, okay, there is one thing that we can do in the short time, and that is that if you want to copy this data, copy this chart and put it in your Word document or in the pivot table, and you want it to be dynamically uh, linked, integrated. If that data is, if this chart is changed, that reflection should be there in either the pivot table or the Word. In that case, what you need to do is you need to first of all open the Word. Do we have the Word with here? MS Word?
Yes, obviously.
Should be, but I don't have MS Word or a Word.
There you go.
Okay, we have the Word, and I don't know whether, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So we have divided our sheet this, copy, and only what we need to do is we need cut, copy, then we need to paste it as, now we have different options as a link data. Click this, and if we change this data, this session, right? Still we have any question? No question? Okay, thank you very much from our side. This is Farhan Khan signing off. Thank you very much, all.